Welcome to Imperial Kingdom. Great fight coming up now. We've got a big one between Moses Itauma and Sanchez. Ooh, Sanchez. This is big. This is huge. This is huge. Now, if you remember, Usyk announced some time ago, I want to see the fight between Moses Itauma and Olisa Usyk. But what happened? Itauma just, for me, was a little passive for that one. He was a little passive. Like he just let it ride, let it slide. That fight wasn't gonna happen. And I was surprised. I was very surprised. Because what a huge fight that is. That's a historical fight. Why let that slide? Why let that slide? I was very surprised. So, and we're talking like a massive dollar day, massive payday, huge payday. This is no tappings. This is bucks. This is dollar day. Yeah. Huge dollar bills. There's no playing about in this one. The moment I heard that, I want to see Itauma v Usyk. If I was Moses, ooh, let's go. Now. Right now. There's no delaying. Nothing's getting in my way. Why? I don't see what in the world is the reason for any kind of hesitation. Obviously, Usyk was the one who said, I don't want to fight Moses. Usyk ducked it blatantly. There's no getting away from that. He said blatantly he doesn't want to fight Moses. He said it. It's on record. Usyk's a fabulous fighter, don't get it twisted. Yeah. Fabulous fighter. But I have Moses beating Usyk. I have Moses beating Usyk. I have Itauma beating Usyk. Definitely. To the point that I could place a bet on that. I could place a bet on that. I just don't see how Usyk could beat. And I'm talking Usyk at his best. Usyk has not slowed down. People talking about his age. He's in his prime. He's in his absolute prime. This is solid prime. And there's nothing I believe he has much to offer someone like Moses. Moses in the ring, you know. And Usyk is good, obviously. We know how good he is. I know the accolade that follows him. All the way from amateurs, European champion, amateur championships, Olympic gold medalists, world cruiserweight champion, undefeated. Then he came up to heavyweight here, and up until this point, I have Usyk as exemplary, fabulous. But once you enter the heavyweight division, and we have to now speak as it is, like an accountant. Usyk has only had that Washington, Chisora, AJ twice, Daniel Dubois a couple times, and Rico. So he's showing in the heavyweight division is not in a lot. Talking about five, right? And if you're being honest, this is not, listen, in this place here, right here, this is a kingdom, Imperial Kingdom. We don't waffle, we talk straight. There's no playing about. There is playing about, because we have love. But there's no messing about with truth. Speak it as it is, right? we're not talking about trying to insult someone or anything like that. But there's no guile here. Right? We let it rip in the correct way, right? So we're not here to disguise the realities. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So each one of those that he fought at heavyweight, I'm talking specifically at heavyweight, they had an issue. There was a real negative issue with them. So obviously, the main one we're talking about is Anthony Joshua. As soon as Joshua had a fight with Ruiz, he became very, very hesitant. Very, very particularly hesitant. And we know why. It's obvious. He didn't want to get himself knocked out. He realized, how is it that I fought someone that I wasn't expected to even sweat over? And something happened, something freakish. It really was freakish. Very freakish. Freakish happened. I took away my whole crown. He lost his whole crown. So it's understandable to see how he became so hesitant, so tentative in the ring. Like, wouldn't strike, gun shy. Yeah. And he found his way back though. He found his way back after. He was very tricky, that's a real mind punishment he was going through. But he found his way back, like a true champion. By the time, Usyk took the advantage, and Usyk was at cruiserweight. Usyk decided, I see something here, let me get up, Like I said, the old famous, I see something. There's an opportunity at the heavyweight division. Big one. It's a grand opportunity. It's not a small one. There's huge treasures to be taken. It's a gold mine. And Usyk went up and took that. He took the opportunity, and he was right. He was right. Look, you still have to give him credit, what we call due credit. Because it was, like I said before, it's not some fat old lady he fought. Right? He still had to fight a big heavyweight. But at the end of the day, as real practitioners of the game, and people in the game, we can see what was wrong. We can see what the issue was. And that's that. Obviously, AJ is not fighting like himself. And Usyk, being a top champion at the cruiser, knows what to do to take advantage of that situation. Same thing happened with Daniel Dubois. By the way, in the second fight, AJ went in there and he put the pain on Usyk. He put the pain on him. But even though he did that, it just wasn't enough, because you still have to take it from the champ. You have to do more than enough to take it from the champ. Same with Dubois. When he faced Dubois, what happened? What happened when he faced Dubois? Dubois had been taking knees upon knees, consecutively in certain fights he's been having, and being hesitant in that same way. Usyk took advantage of that. The exact same thing happened. So, like I said, he wasn't fighting an old mama. He's still fighting a, heavyweight. So we have to give Usyk due credit still, but not the full credit, because this is not guys fighting normally. It's a peculiar issue. You could see that there's an Achilles heels. You could see that there's something wrong here. It's an Achilles heels. It's an Achilles heels. It's not your regular issue. This is not what you call, just your clean victory. Just a regular whooping, ass whooping. No. This is, when I say Achilles heels, we're talking in a classical sense. Back in the day. In the days of the Greeks, one was called Achilles. And he had an injury in his heel. And And that's when his enemy was able to dismantle him. So this is it, and these are the facts. These are the recorded facts as far as Dubois and AJ. This is not someone just trying to be biased. There's nothing to be biased about. They're not giving me any money per se. So this is boxing. You know, we talk real boxing here, real fighting arts. We talk in this place. We speak the truth. Okay, there's nothing to be biased about. Nothing. Yeah. Let's give Usyk the credit as far as cruiserweight. In the cruiserweight, he's an all-time champion, regardless. Yeah. His feats were fabulous. But we're talking about his heavyweight campaign. The heavyweight campaign of Usyk is definitely marred by these issues. He can't say he fought people who were behaving normally. They weren't fighting their normal. Neither of them were fighting their normal. No, of course not. Chisora was obviously a retirement place, and he did very well because this is it. But he was ready to go, to leave the game. But look how well he performed. But then the other two were clearly very hesitant, unusually, meaning not how they normally are. They didn't come out throwing punches. But anyways, I feel like I know, not just I feel like, I know Moses Itauma should have pressed. He should have pressed. And I keep hearing him say these things, you know, everything is positive with Moses. I like Moses. But the only thing I see wrong is he's too passive when it comes to management issues. He is very, he even said the other day, I quote him verbatim, he said, I've come to realize that in this boxing game, the boxers don't know what they're doing. Boxers are not doing anything by their own control or will. It's all up to the management. No, it's not. Of course, they have to talk to him like that because he's so young. But he has to understand that going forward, it can't be like that completely. And that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a problem. You're the one getting in the ring. Have a discussion. Of course, they know better overall, especially as far as contracts and all that issues. But when it comes to what you would do, the fighter is the decision maker. And Moses should have pressed. As soon as he heard, Turkey al-Sheikh saying, I want to make this fight. There's going to be about 150 mil sterling, 150 million pounds on the table. Definitely for that fight. If he had taken it, he should have gone straight ahead. I said, yeah, I'm up for it. Let's go now. People saying he needed experience. He was sparring like Fury, AJ, all these people right from the beginning. And you saw how he dealt with everyone else. So there's no reason for any delay. He should have gone straight. Now, look at all these people they're throwing at him now. Now he has to fight Sanchez. I think I have Moses over Sanchez, but it's not, would you bet your house? I can't bet my house. You just don't know what's going to happen. They're very capable individuals in front of him. Very capable individuals. He might bet his house because he's the one fighting. And I wouldn't say that would be outlandish because he's got extreme capabilities. Moses is very, very capable. Yeah. But the thing is, so is Sanchez. Overall, one won't be crazy to say anything can happen. Right? You wouldn't be. How can you not be able to say anything can happen in this fight? You just don't know. I think I favor Moses. But if I was, say, Sanchez's family member or something, and I was supporting him, I wouldn't go, oh no, don't bother fighting, there's no way you can win. Of course not. Because he's very capable too. So, Wouldn't it have been better if Moses had gone for Usyk and became champion, and then be taking all these all-comers on as contenders for the championship belts? That would have been much better. Take these fellas on, and they're testing for your belt, as opposed to you have to fight the entire tough planet just to get to the championship. When you have the opportunity right at your doorstep, he had the opportunity. I'm talking about the fact that he already had the opportunity. The opportunity was right there. So he should have taken it, I would have said. And for whatever reason, he was being passive. Now he has to fight all these dudes. But I believe he's very confident though. Moses is very confident. And I like the way he fights. Yeah, I think he can do it. I definitely won't be out of my way supporting Moses to win. I think Moses can do it. I give him more chance though to win. But if Sanchez said the same, I couldn't tell him not that he's being unreasonable for thinking that. You know what I mean? So this is the case. I'm excited for this one though. This one's a banger. Let's go. Moses v Sanchez, I'm waiting. Imperial Kingdom. Till next time. Enjoy your summer. It's popping.